like chicken wire.
a good mesh, if you welded it all together, or put it all together, it'd make a hell of an equal.
Well, in a way, this is not bad though, because I've got, the grass grows up.
Oh, yeah, the way you're doing it is the best way there is, but you're doing it with high-quality copper.
Well, yeah, this is number 18. I mean, it's not real thick copper.
No, but it's copper,
Yeah, it's copper.
and that's the best there is, but
Well,
I
probably
mean,
work.
But look at where the dollar is. Right now, metal prices, whether it's silver, platinum, or copper, are in the tank. It's costing us something like 8 cents just in metal to make a penny.
yeah,
You know, but really,
that's good.
the dollar, and it used to cost like,
But
used to
that's
cost
why I
almost double
wonder,
that.
isn't there some kind of a mesh you could buy that would do the same day?
There may be.
And it may be a hell of a lot cheaper than
Well,
what you're putting
chicken
on.
Where it's a pain, I mean, where it's, you know, I don't know, Art, if it's necessarily cheaper, but putting that in, when we put those, well, we had 120, that was the engineering plan, but we had extra wires, so we put in 128.
Yeah.
Well,
What was I gonna do with the extra
Oh,
copper?
that's a long process, like.
It is a long
But now are they equally
Process.
spaced, or did you throw the
But
spacing?
he's got the best 40-meter
cares?
vertical of anybody in the United States,
Well-
and it works that way.
Oh, but it's amazing.
You can
I got
measure-
on barefoot the first time I had this thing on. First guy calls me back is in England, and he gave me, I could barely hear him, but he gave me a 589, 90 watts. Next guy calls me back in Chile, 599, 90 watts. Next guy calls me back in Japan.
well,
Yeah.
it was working.
Yeah, and it's omnidirectional.
Yeah.
I mean, on 40, I had never even.
So why are we not doing that for field day, running out 3,000
You got
yards
the
of chicken
best
wire?
takes a
40-meter
long time.
Well, yeah,
DX
well, chicken
antenna.
wire, you just roll out a
You
couple
got a hell
spools.
of a lot better DX antenna than a 40-meter 3-element beam with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other reason, John, is the vertical. For field day, it wouldn't, well, I mean, it works, but gives you a very low angle of radiation.
So long distance.
No
not
good
local.
for
No.
working here in
You-
Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
You wanna go,
Yeah.
and that was our problem that one year when Paige and I built those 6 phased arrays. We had 6 15-meter verticals
Oh, yes.
that were phased.
Yeah.
And we had one beaming that way.
Southwest, the other
And
one
you
south.
were
one
Saudi
beaming that
Arabia
way.
in good shape, but you didn't work Chicago. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, I got a QSL card, you know, when we were testing it, back from a guy in Africa, said he'd never heard a station that loud from the US.
That's right.
Well, we had engineered this fucker to have like, you know, 20 dB forward gain.
Yeah, right.
Well, it sure did, but yeah, if you want to talk to somebody in the other side of the world, it's
That's
great.
right.
But they didn't hear us in Florida.
That's what
I
his
s-
verticals
I
are
still love the V-beam that we had.
Oh,
That was such
wonderful.
that was a,
That was just ridiculous. That was truly ridiculous.
But on 80 meters, if you put up that vertical, it'll be closer in. It won't be as far
I
out.
know. Well,
And so it probably will work pretty good in the United States in the contest
on 80.
On 80.
Right now, I'm getting nothing out of 80.
That's right.
If you looked at that, you know, my score from this last year on sweeps, I had 560 of my 1,100 contacts were on 40 meters. I just sat on 40 meters and ran them.
He took the Dakota Division this last time in the high power. So, well, that's something.
Well, yeah.
Have you
Well,
got your plaque yet from that?
no. The guys who give out the plaque are the Minnesota Wireless
And they
Association.
probably think that son of a gun in North Dakota to hell with it.
I would think so.
well, you
I
know,
mean, it's their in-house plaque.
Yeah, all right.
your real answer is to quit half-stepping and build a 160-meter vertical.
Well, that would be, I can't, because of the airport.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pushing it. If I put up a 60 meter, I'm right at the hairy edge of
Right,
having to put
right.
lights on it.
Well, put it up and then say, well, hell, it's been there for 20 years.
No, it won't, it'll
Yeah.
be fine. I've already got one up that's been there 20 years,
Yeah,
it's 50
yeah,
feet, so
yeah.
going to
Well,
66
you're
is
all right.
not a big deal.
Grandfathered, huh?
Yeah. Oh.
And actually, it'll be a little shorter than that, because when you get something that big around,
It
brings the size down.
That's right.
You could use copper tubing for the ground plane, you know, that would really,
Yeah,
May-
that'd
may
be
increase
really
the-
expensive,
may
wouldn't it?
increase the cost a little.
Pardon me, but $800 is my limit. But that's what, and I might be able
Well,
to do
these
that.
damn radios are an inch and a half apart, you know.
Well, you'd have a lot of copper laying out there.
Yeah, he has already.
You just get a big sheet, quit fooling around.
He's got the best damn,
Hey, Art, you want to hear the best part about putting this thing up?
but,
If I put it properly, if I space it properly, it'll act as a reflector on 40
yeah,
Oh yeah, okay.
oh yeah,
for Europe.
for you.
Yeah.
Of course,
Then
that
you got a
it might
vertical
hurt
beam.
me, but at the same time, I'd be hurting myself
Going that way.
going that way. But what's down there, Australia?
Yeah.
Big deal. But, I'll probably be a little cognizant of that and not. do
Well,
that.
as long as you don't tie anything together, in other words, if you've got your vertical here for 40 and your vertical here for 80 and they're not tied
Well, but they
together.
are both of them have coax coming down into the shack, and when it comes in the shack, it goes to that ported earth entry, which is a big copper plate. So yes, the entire ground system is
It's
all
all
tied
tied
together.
Oh.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it's one big,
Yeah.
massive
yeah.
piece of
We
metal.
saw when the bigger
But of course,
antennas,
all
you
the
get-
time you do that, the entire ground system, you never know exactly how it's gonna work either.
Well,
But I've always felt that more is better.
I wish you, I wish you luck.
So you guys haven't been helped, so you're voting for A, B,
Well,
or C,
I
which.
would say, you know-
And sort, C is a follow-up to A.
I would say start with A, and then your backup thing would be B and C, down to C, you see.
That's right.
Tell your wife we're gonna spend 11,000 on this.
Yeah, I mean, and
radio.
then offer her
But-
what's left.
Just, so, instead of then you go B and C and say, look at all the money we're saving.
Yeah,
That's right. You know, I just didn't think
she
about
heard this story out of you
he just
before.
bought
though?
a car.
that. No, I have never.
You know how it works.
In 40 years of marriage, I've never once had Elaine
How are you, Doc?
tell me or whine about, I take that back. One time she whined about a purchase. We
Was
were
it
married
snowblower?
about 6 weeks. We didn't have much money. It was to the point where I had to take a second job.
Yeah.
And I went out and I bought that Drake 2-meter rig that I have in the car for an APRS rig. It cost me $225, I remember, $225 used.
Yeah,
And I brought that baby home and I was pretty happy about it. And that was the first time that somebody suggested that we could stop eating beans.
well, let me tell you, you gotta negotiate more of that. When I got married, we went into a trailer and I didn't have anything other, and we got a nice little Motorola AC/DC set from somebody for a wedding present. Well, we had to have something on the air, so I talked to Gladys about that Motorola, and we took it. She said, "Well, I don't think she understood what I was going to do." Took it down to Roy's shop. That was VSK. He was in the radio business. We pulled the stators out of it, and the only radio we had in the house, we put
On 160
on 160 meters, so I could be on 160 meters.
Oh,
We
well, there is some.
no more radio.
So
See?
you went to the confuse and intimidate school. Oh, wait, man.
That's right.
Was this where all the cats hang out?
Yeah.
Well,
This is the
we
place.
live here, we're almost ready to head out.
This is our
Yeah, for a little
Mulholland
while.
way.
Yes, I know,
Yeah.
I know. Is the bow
He
phone
was
still
a
working?
doctor
The one
out
that
there for
works.
years, yeah.
Yeah, Jim, right, is the only, he owns the only Bofang that I've seen that doesn't work. It lacked
special-
audio on one, it just had no
It's
audio,
got no idea.
but it's excellent receiver. There you
Great weather
go.
radio.
Yeah, there you go. You listen to the weather stations, you can also, I don't know. I was wondering if you could get FM broadcast on that if you punched it in. I never tried. But,
So it's grumpy out of the box.
well, something like that. But the other one works great, so. You got a 50-50 hit, you still got
Well,
away
look
with
at that, he quit.
Still got away with a $50 radio.
Chinese radio, what do you expect?
Yeah, well, I'm still feeling kind of guilty. These guys all know the story, Jim, but I ordered these connectors so you can put a different connector. So it between the thing on the radio.
On the Bofang?
Yeah, for my high school kids, and then they could put a real antenna on it. And I got 10 of them, and 9 of them were bad, just dead shorts. So I
That's why they're cheaper.
I corresponded with the Chinese guys that sold it to, which is, by itself, it was an absolute hoot. I mean, they're using Google Translate or something. So then I sent them pictures. I said, here's the way it should work. And I just held the ohm meter, and it showed it open. Good. Infinite resistance between the braid and the center conductor. Then I took another one. My wife took pictures over my shoulder. Bad. Dead short. I had the 2 pictures with captions,
Yeah.
I sent that back to them, and they said, "Oh," so I said, "We get it now. Okay, send them back to us. This never happens. We don't know how it happened." Okay. So my fear is if there's some 8-year-old, they beat the snot
I
out
was
of
going to say,
them.
he was afraid to push the issue because some guy's going to back to the
Shoot it.
Beat the hell out of him.
Oh, did you send him the picture of the powers of the recharge base?
Oh, no,
You
no.
gotta send that to him.
Oh, I don't even know if I have it anymore. The recharger, well, you might have it on yours. Take a look at the base of the charger.
Yeah.
There's some instructions there that, if you have that version, that model, that
Mine's nice, I mean, they must have, since
They
that happened,
cleaned it up.
somebody must have called their English to
But
attention.
I don't have it in front of me, but I bet if you Google Shreddo mistake,